Well, hello there. The Atom, the newest 3-axis drone from Potensic, is one of the best value mini drones out there right now. Though when I did my initial review, there were a few questions that you guys asked about specific features that were missing or quirks that were not quite right. And if you didn't see that review, of course, I'll leave a link up here and in the description so you can take a look at that after you're done with this one. Anyway, I'm happy to report that Potensic listened to our pleas and has just released a new firmware update, and I'm going to run through the 6 important updates, and one which I think is absolutely crucial, and they got almost right, so close, so you're not going to want to miss it. So let's do it, and yet another 3-Minute Thursday. Starting with the new features. The first addition is one that was asked for in comments many times, and that is a digital zoom. So to access a zoom, you can either tap the zoom icon on the screen, or you can long press the zoom icon and then drag the dial plate up and down for zoom in the middle, or you can pinch and zoom in and out on the screen with 2 fingers. The next new feature is an added interval timer mode for creating time-lapse videos. So to enter this mode, you first tap on the icon and it will turn that green, and then you can choose the interval that you want in seconds. You simply tap on the record button and it will take pictures at the interval that you have set. Then you can take these pictures back in a post-editing software and play them back to get your time lapse. Next new features and updates are in the controller and battery versions and have to do with beeping and alarm updates. The first is that they added options for disabling the low battery beeping from the RC. Now we can simply short press the power button to disable the beeping. Next is a similar quiet mode, but this one is for the auto return to home. And again, this is a welcome addition. You can either click the power button again to turn off the sound, or there is a setting now that you can turn on quiet mode and it will never come on in the first place. The next notification is they added beeping to the remote controller when the target is lost in visual tracking. Now that's nice if you're tracking yourself. It lets you know right away that it lost track of you. Again, I didn't try that one today, but that is a really nice feature, especially if you're by yourself. It's nice to know that the remote will beep and let you know that it happened right away. The last update is a battery update, and it prompts for a battery malfunction. And since we don't have any malfunctions, I'm not going to be able to test that one. We'll take their word for that one. Next is that they did optimize the Find My Drone experience. Now, I have not crashed this drone, so I have not had the opportunity to use this. Now, that being said, I do not see a separate Find My Drone mode in the app, and I have seen that on some other drones. So if that exists somewhere and maybe I'm just missing it, let us know in the comments if you're familiar with that so we can all learn. Now the next section is gimbal firmware that they upgraded, and they said they optimized the gimbal stability, the gimbal calibration algorithm, and they optimized the issue of tilted horizon in some scenarios. Now, I never really had much problem with gimbal tilt, but I did notice one time when I was out here testing that I was going back and forth really fast and the gimbal did seem to have a tilt, and it quickly corrected itself, but it was one time. And beyond that, I never really had anything that was significant, just maybe some small stuff. And again, you will see that small gimbal tilt on any drone, even a very expensive drone. So if somebody sells it has 0 gimbal tilt, they're fibbing a little bit. At least they said they upgraded it to make any known issues a little bit better. Now the next one is in the flight control firmware. And this one states optimized forced takeoff experience. Now, I did see some other people talking about this firmware upgrade, and when they got to that section, they said, well, I don't really know what that means, and they just kind of brushed it off. Now, however, this is a big deal. This is a big improvement. Now, there's still room for improvement that can be done better, but let me explain what this is. Every time that I tried to do a hand launch with the Atom, I would always get an error on the screen, and the drone would simply not launch. I also spoke with a fellow Atom pilot who was trying to launch his Atom from a boat deck. And now it was solid on the deck, however, the boat was moving around a little bit, and it simply refused to launch in that situation too. So this upgrade is meant to address this. So the way they allow this forced launch is they tell you that it is still moving, but then they allow you to pull down and in on the sticks for 2 seconds to enable the motors. Then you use the left stick to actually launch the drone, and this actually works. So if you're launching from a boat and you have the Atom sitting on the deck and you have both hands on the remote, that works just fine. Now the other scenario is when you're trying to do a hand launch because maybe the ground is uneven or maybe you're over water or for whatever reason, then you're trying to get the sticks down and in with your one hand, and the device actually splits these sticks farther apart. So unless you have big hands, you can't even reach it. Then once you get the props enabled, they're spinning and now you're trying to take off, and all this time is happening. You're kind of staring at the remote trying to make this happen, and I think that makes it a lot less safe. So while I do commend Potensic for getting that to work at all, so that you can do hand launch or launch from a boat at all. Well, that's nice. However, you can't be doing this one-handed monkey dance trying to make that work while you're trying to keep a drone with spinning propellers away from your face at the same time. So Potensic, if you're listening, make it a one push button, a slide, something, so that you don't have to fiddle quite so much. You can do it. So overall, they've done a decent job with this, Adam, and really that just shows their dedication to not only making it better and keeping the quality high, but adding features for you for free. So I give Potensic a lot of credit here. And if you're interested in more drones and industry tips and tricks, make sure, go ahead, take a look at these videos, and I'll see you there soon. Until then, good flying.